I am Kamali, taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. It's Eid and billions are celebrating. We show you the best pictures from around the world. Some people at the top of US politics use the Bible as an excuse for harsh immigration policies that cause children to be taken from their parents. Women play video games just as much as men, so why are so few of the lead characters in games girls? The animals doing stuff is a dancing bear, and this one seems to be doing it for fun. The little boy. All right, top of our newsfeed, Eid Mubarak, Hayırlı Bayramlar, Happy Eid. Billions of people around the world are celebrating the end of Ramadan. It's a national holiday for many, and half of the top trending hashtags on Twitter are marking the day. Here's some of the best pictures from around the globe. And of course, everyone has been posting their best wishes. Malala Yousafzai wrote, Eid Mubarak and best wishes to my sisters and brothers celebrating around the world. The football club AC Milan said, we wish all our Muslim friends and Rossoneri fans around the world a happy and peaceful Eid Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum. Today, Muslims in Canada and around the world will celebrate Eid al-Fitr and mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan. A month of fasting, spiritual reflection and service to those less fortunate.
That was Justin Trudeau. Canada's PM posted that message on Twitter. And Sonny Bill Williams of the All Blacks added this, Eid Mubarak to all the Muslims around the world over the next few days. Inshallah, Ramadan was a month of spiritual awakening, always love from me and mine. Now here in Istanbul, we sent Yasin down to the Blue Mosque to speak to people there about what it means to them.
Today is Eid. Hundreds of millions of Muslims from across the globe are celebrating, but today we're in Istanbul, in the Blue Mosque complex, and as you can see, families from different parts of the world and country are here to celebrate. They're here with their friends, their families, but most of all, you can see the children. They're here, they're having fun. You can see them with face paints, balloons, and right here, there's a couple of children that I'd just like to speak to. İsminiz ne?
Abdülbasit.
Kaç yaşındasınız?
10.
Bayram sizin için ne ifade ediyor? Nasıl gidiyor?
Çok mutlu oluyorum.
Başka?
İşte bir şeyler alabiliyorum. Büyükleri ziyaret ediyoruz, eğleniyoruz. Seviniyoruz işte.
Sizin isminiz ne?
Fatma.
Siz bayramı seviyor musunuz?
Çok seviyorum.
En çok nesini seviyorsunuz?
Akrabalarımızı ziyaret ettiğimizde çok seviyorum.
Para alıyor musunuz?
Hı? Evet.
Teşekkür ederim. And as you can see, the children, they enjoy walking, going around, sightseeing, visiting neighbors, friends, families. But most of all, they like to visit their families and friends because the tradition in Turkey is when you kiss an older person's hand, they give you money. And that was the Ramadan of my childhood. And I'm sure it's like that for them as well.
All right, let's take you to America now, where the Bible is being used to justify the Trump administration's policy of stripping children from their parents when they cross the US border illegally. Here's the Attorney General of the US, Jeff Sessions, calling on church friends to back his directives that have seen kids taken away from their parents at the border.
And I would say You to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government because God has ordained the government for his purposes.
And then the press secretary, Sarah Sanders, had this to say in defense of what he said.
Where does it say in the Bible that it's moral to take children away from their mothers?
I'm not aware of the Attorney General's comments or what he would be referencing. I can say that it is very biblical to enforce the law. That is actually repeated a number of times throughout the Bible. However, this hold on, Jim, if you'll let me finish. Again, I'm not going to comment on the attorney's specific comments that I haven't seen. That's not what I said, and I know it's hard for you to understand. Even short sentences, I guess, and please don't take my words out of context, but the separation of illegal alien families is the product of the same legal loopholes that Democrats refuse to close, and these laws are the same that have been on the books for over a decade, and the president is simply enforcing them.
Well, as you can rightly imagine, the reaction to this online was swift and biting. Brian Bihar wrote this, that Sessions and Sanders both invoked the Bible to defend ripping babies out of their mother's arms and placing them in cages. I'm really not getting what's happening to my country. Amy Siskin wrote this, a good time to remember, if you're using the Bible to justify cruelty to children and oppress people, it's not God or your religion speaking, it's your own inner weakness and hate. And this from Wajid Ali said, imagine if Sessions had justified separating children at the border, citing Quran verses instead of the Bible. I bet most of Trump's supporters would want his head. All right, let's take a look at what else is trending on social media. And today we're going all World Cup. Now, sports will give you a roundup of everything that's happening today, but we thought we'd pick out a few choice moments from the opening day. Now, first this, a washed-up pop star from a 90s boy band pranced around a Hobbiton-looking set during the opening ceremony, then decided to swear at billions of people. And of course, it went viral. What a start. Then President Putin gave a rousing, inspirational opening speech, but all the internet could do was tease him for looking like he was wearing a fluffy bra. And a site called Memeberm have made this graphic which looks at the social media followers each team enjoys. As you can see, France have the most Instagram followers, followed closely by Brazil. And as for Twitter, Mexico have the biggest following, and Colombia come in second. And this video seems to show a bear riding in a car in Moscow, blowing a Vuvuzela. Now, I don't think it's a real bear, neither does my producer Zuhal, but some others in the office say it's real. What do you think? A guy in a very believable suit, or an amazing display of animal cruelty, and something smarter than your average bear? Now to India now, where the smog engulfing Delhi is particularly bad this year. It's been described as a once-in-a-decade phenomenon. Well, Nia Punia is there and braved the hazardous air for us to see how people are dealing. And amazingly, Indians are using social media to make a joke of the situation.
As a resident of New Delhi, I can certainly vouch for this, that we're no strangers to living with air pollution. Every year in the months of winter, there's a dense layer of smog that envelops the city, and now it looks like the months of summer are to bring no respite either, because now we're dealing with dust pollution. There was a bad dust storm in Western India, and all of that dust has now been carried into the city of New Delhi, and doctors are advising people to stay indoors as much as they can. Pollution masks have come out. People are taking to Twitter and Facebook to vent their anger, frustration. Some people saying they've been out in this air for the last 10-15 minutes and their lungs feel like they've smoked 45 cigarettes already. Others joking to say it looks like Delhi's been enveloped in an Instagram filter, except in this case that filter is fine dust itself. Others questioning what the government is doing, and some who we spoke to saying that Delhi is no longer a city worth living in.
You can't live in Delhi anymore. It's impossible to even get out of your house on days like this.
Definitely it's not good for health. The only thing is, immediately perhaps we don't understand the impact or implication of it. But at a later date, we will face problems. So that's what it is. And particularly, perhaps for our age group, it's okay, but for children and those who are super senior citizen, for them it's very difficult.
Unfortunately, this is not the end of the bad news because experts say that these weather conditions will continue at least for another 2 days. And many are joking on Twitter to say that perhaps the only silver lining out of all of this will be if Delhi actually gets its own Instagram filter.
Now, the E3 gaming event is coming to an end, and among all the announcement of new titles and plans for augmented reality, there was an interesting report put out by Feminist Frequency about women in gaming. Now, as this graphic shows, 50% of games have a protagonist who is either male or female, which is pretty good, but only 8% have a female lead character. That's compared to 24% have a man as a lead. Now, women play video games in numbers comparable to men. The report highlights that while the gaming industry fails to reflect its gamers, it's failing those who spend billions on it annually.
Developers and publishers are really going to have to lead the charge here in creating games that portray women as powerful, just humans, as strong characters, as the heroes of their own story. And that's happening everywhere. The Last of Us 2 is a great example of that.
I'm currently still the only female VFX artist at my studio. I've been there 4 years now. There have been, experiences where I've noticed that people don't really know how to interact with women in a game space or even online. It's part of the reason why my entire middle school and high school, I actually used a kind of a gender-neutral username.
I think that Tomb Raider has sort of always helped spearhead females fronting a game because as far as I'm concerned, they were one of the biggest, most well-known games to do it. And at the time when I was growing up, I didn't really even know many female characters in video games. And if they were in games, a lot of them needed rescuing. And Lara Croft rescues herself.
All right, let's take you around the world for some other stories you need to know this Friday. Now, Hillary Clinton has made fun of James Comey on Twitter. A quick catch-up. James Comey was the director of the FBI in the United States during the election campaign of 2016. He announced that Hillary Clinton had made a mistake using a private email server while she was Secretary of State. Comey said this in the week before the election, and Clinton kind of blames him for her loss. Now, a report has found that Comey used a private email server while he was head of the FBI. So Clinton tweeted this, "But my emails burn." Now, it's being viewed as the latest attempt by Snapchat to capitalize on the declining popularity of Facebook. The latest developer kit release allows users to log in and share their data with Snapchat only. It's a new move for the company who say it's all to do with privacy. Now, people online are saying it's a way to cut out big data firms like Google and Facebook. Now, this video has appeared, put out by North Korean state media, and the US social media has been going nuts. As you can see, President Donald Trump is saluting a general of the North Korean army. Now, it's only just been released, and that's all sides in America foaming over the optics of it. All except Fox News and the host Sean Hannity, who completely ignored it in his show last night. Now, one of the actors from Game of Thrones has a new tattoo, and she posted it on Instagram. And because it says, "This, the pact survives," people are saying she spoiled the next season of the show. As you can see, the tat shows the sigil of the House Stark, and if you watch the show, you know what's been going on with them. The new season starts in April 2019. And because it looks pretty cool and it happened here in Istanbul, here's a video of a guy slacklining around the streets of the city. And in Friday's Animals Doing Stuff, we have a great one. Take a look at this. This is Nashville Zoo, and a little boy decided to get into a jump-off with a bear, and the bear took him on. Now, the bear is called Luca, and the boy is called Ian, and the video was posted on Facebook and has been watched 500,000 times. All right, well, that's your lot from the NewsFeed team. Do reach out to us with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Follow, subscribe, and add. See you again tomorrow.